The gym had been quiet that Saturday morning. The kind of quiet that only comes before something unexpected happens. Marcus had been training for 11 years. A third-degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu who had competed at regional and national levels, won trophies that lined the shelves of his home, and earned the respect of every serious martial artist in the city. He walked into the gym that morning with the easy confidence of a man who had never been truly humbled on the mat, a man who measured the world by belts and certificates and the records he had compiled over more than a decade of hard training. He had arrived early to get in some light drilling before his students showed up. But when he pushed open the heavy gym door, he found the place already occupied. A man was mopping the floors in the far corner, moving methodically between the mats and the equipment racks, wearing a pair of old track pants and a plain gray t-shirt that had seen better days. The man was somewhere in his mid-40s, with calloused hands and a quiet, unhurried way of moving that Marcus barely registered. He nodded briefly in the man's direction and began warming up near the heavy bags. The cleaner's name was Ernesto. He had worked the early morning shift at the gym for the past 8 months, coming in before the crowds arrived, cleaning the mats, wiping down equipment, and leaving before most members even knew he existed. He was a man who never talked about himself, who answered questions with a polite smile and returned quickly to his work. Nobody at the gym knew anything meaningful about Ernesto's past, and Ernesto never offered it. Marcus stretched and shadowboxed for a while, then glanced over at Ernesto, who had finished mopping and was now folding towels near the storage room. On a whim, the kind of careless impulse that comes from years of unchallenged confidence, Marcus called out across the gym with a grin. "Hey, you ever done any martial arts? Feel like a quick spar? Just for fun, nothing serious." Ernesto paused, set down the towels, and looked at Marcus with calm, unreadable eyes. He was quiet for a moment, then nodded slowly. "Sure," he said simply. "Just for fun." They squared up on the mat, and Marcus felt the familiar ease of a man who believes he already knows how the next few minutes will unfold. He bounced lightly on his toes, rolled his shoulders, and moved forward with relaxed aggression. What happened in the next 3 minutes would stay with Marcus for the rest of his martial arts career. Ernesto did not move like a cleaner. He moved like water, effortlessly redirecting every attack, slipping under Marcus's reach, closing distance with a speed that seemed completely disconnected from his age and his plain appearance. Within 40 seconds, Marcus found himself on his back, staring at the ceiling, completely unsure how he had gotten there. He scrambled to his feet and came back in, this time more serious. All the casual showmanship stripped away. It made no difference. Ernesto was always one step ahead, reading Marcus's intentions before they became actions, neutralizing every technique with something that looked almost too simple to be effective. By the time 3 minutes had passed, Marcus had been taken down 4 times and caught in 2 clean submission setups that Ernesto had released gently each time without applying pressure. Marcus lay on the mat after the 4th takedown and stared up at the gym ceiling with a feeling he had not experienced in a very long time. Humility, quiet, and total settled over him like a weight. He sat up slowly and looked at Ernesto, who was already standing calmly, not even breathing hard. "Who are you?" Marcus asked, and there was no embarrassment in his voice now, only genuine awe. Ernesto picked up his mop from where he had leaned it against the wall and looked back at Marcus with the same quiet expression he always wore. "I trained for 22 years, he said simply. "Competed internationally. Retired from competition 8 years ago." He paused, then added with a small, kind smile, "I just clean now. I like the peace of it." Marcus stood up and extended his hand, and when Ernesto shook it, Marcus held it for a moment longer than a normal handshake requires. "I owe you a lesson," Marcus said quietly. Ernesto smiled again and shook his head. "You already got one," he said, and went back to folding the towels. The trophies on Marcus's shelves at home looked a little different to him after that morning. Not smaller exactly, just more honest. Greatness, he understood now, does not always announce itself. Sometimes it mops the floor and folds the towels and waits patiently to be seen. If this story moved something in you, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Corner Stories, where every story is a reminder that the most remarkable people are often the ones we overlook.